Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Barbeno's World. In the last episode, we did a ton of work around this spawn area, trying to basically improve the looks of it, clear up a bunch of messes that I had. And yeah, I built this massive building here, and I also cleaned up a few of the unfinished builds that I had. And today I want to continue with that. I hopefully won't be removing too many stuff, because that's never fun. But yeah, this is one thing that I do think I can improve the looks of, because right now it looks kind of trash. And I did end the last episode off with a bunch of leftover resources from building this, and I've got them here in my inventory. A bunch of quartz, a little bit of glass, and some terracotta and concrete. And I think I'm just going to use those blocks to build the building around this in sort of the same style. So I've built 4 pillars out of cyan terracotta that go all the way around here, and these are going to be the 4 corners of the building. It's quite a bit larger than the actual storage room in the middle, but I think that should be fine because I just really want it to look good rather than be super functional. Now it's time for me to build the walls, and I do want to use some gray concrete. That won't be the entire wall, because if I make it just out of concrete, that will probably be a bit boring. Alright, we've got a bit of a problem. Iron golems from the iron farm are spawning on the building, so I gotta cover up the zombie here. There's a zombie here, it's just disappearing for some reason. I really hope they don't spawn when I'm doing this. Okay, now that the iron farm is disabled, I can work in peace, but when I'm done, if I want to turn on the iron farm, I'm going to need to make sure it's all spawn proof. I ran out of solidified concrete pretty fast when I was building this wall. The best way to do this is just to place it down in powdered form. I don't even know how this guy spawned here. He shouldn't, the iron farm shouldn't be running. And now that we've gotten all of the concrete powder in, we can just pour water on it and it will convert it. It's gonna wash away all our torches though. Okay, I just finished the walls and I realized something kind of annoying. The entrance to the building is kind of lopsided because we have the item sorters on this side that are taking up extra space, so the entrance is kind of more to the right. I'm not sure what to do about that. And here's my solution. It was just to make it even more lopsided and asymmetrical. But I actually think this looks pretty cool, because, you see this sort of thing with a bunch of modern houses and buildings, and I like that I was able to include it here. Also, I added a roof. It's just made out of the smooth stone slabs, just like a lot of the other buildings around here. And yeah, this looks really great. The only thing that's missing here, I think, is some detail for the walls. And I wanted to include something kind of like what I did over at my sugarcane farm over there. I think this is actually a really cool idea. I put some slabs and stairs in a pattern made out of smooth quartz, and it looks super cool. You can kind of see through it a little bit, but it still gives you the nice design. So I'm going to try fiddling around with the quartz and see if I can find a pattern that looks good on the wall. Alright, welcome back everybody. I've spent a while trying to decorate the walls, and here's what I've come up with. Yeah, I kind of gave up on doing the whole quartz thing after this arch. The arch was pretty easy, but I was trying to fill in the walls like I did over there with some new pattern, and it really wasn't working, and then I had the idea to use end rods just alternating, and this actually looks really nice, but pretty expensive. Anyways, at this point, the build is almost done, and one thing that sticks out is this blob that I added. It looks nice, but it's too plain, so instead of just adding the end rods to it, I'm gonna try replacing the concrete here with a different block. I didn't expect just smooth quartz to look so good for this, but it totally does, especially with that window. So yeah, I think, I'm not done with this building. I still need to do the floor and the interior. Okay, all the walls are in. It's pretty simple, but it looks fine. And all I have to do now is the floor. I finished up the floor now, and I went with the checkerboard style with smooth and normal quartz, and that looks pretty nice. Also down here we've got a trapdoor that opens the way down to the extra storage for pumpkins and melons, which goes like 12 blocks down or more. And we also have bone meal down here that gets composted. I actually use this a lot, and you probably never see it. That's pretty cool. Alright, next step in our cleanup adventure is this melon and pumpkin farm. I don't really think this design is too bad, but the main issue with it is the fact that it's always on and there's pistons constantly firing. That's probably causing a lot of lag, so I need to find a way to turn it off. And I think if you place redstone on top of these note blocks and power the redstone, it'll it powers the piston right there. And that piston will get pushed down so that no melons and pumpkins can grow, and then none will get harvested. Alright, so here's the on-off switch that I made. It's got a bunch of redstone dust, but at least it works. When you flip the lever in the middle there, all the pistons get activated, so it pushes the redstone blocks down and it powers all of the redstone dust, which makes it so all of the pistons down here extend, and then the pumpkin and melons can't grow. So let's just show you how it's done. Yeah, and it's got a bunch of redstone dust, but I don't think it should cause too much lag unless we're constantly turning it on and off. I think I'm just gonna leave the farm on for now until I build another pumpkin and melon farm, because I do like the pumpkin and melons for just turning into bone meal. Now, I just need to build a building around the farm, and this farm is already made with decent looking blocks, but I still want to cover it up just a little bit more. Here's the exterior design for my melon and pumpkin farm so far. I think this one looks really cool, especially how you have that window into the inside of it. And if you go on top, you can see the switch is right up here. So you can turn it on and off like that. And also I want to add something to this plain gray roof to make it look a bit cooler. Okay, so here's the design that I chose. And I actually really like it. I used some orange terracotta and green terracotta around the corners and lined it with quartz. And that kind of just represents the pumpkins and the melons that grow in the farm. Super nice. I think this is one of the better buildings I've done so far, even though it's pretty simple. Okay, we're almost done. There's just a couple more buildings that I want to decorate, and one of them is going to be this mini sheep farm right here. I'm done with the sheep farm, and this is a pretty small building, but I really like this one. I spent quite a bit of time actually trying to perfect this like curve shape that I've got back here, but it's super nice. Just a gentle curve, and then there's a bit of an overhang up here. You can see the sheeps through these windows, and there's some grass in between just to help the grass spread. And down here, the walls are still mostly dirt because you need the grass for the sheep farm. But here's just an easy way to collect all the wool. And finally, there's just one more thing that I want to do, and that is building a building around this. This is actually my starter house when I made the world, and it was actually the first thing that I built after my starter hut right here, which I got rid of. And yeah, I think I'm just going to build kind of a glass dome shape over this, like I'm preserving the building, kind of like what they do with old buildings in cities. They just put a big glass block around them. But before I do that, I want to get rid of these passive mobs. It's never good to have passive mobs in the spawn chunks, and also this pen is super ugly. Like, I've got 3 different fence types. Good stuff. I'm actually going to leave this wheat farm over here because I think it looks nice, especially when it's fully grown, which it's not right now because I just repaired it. Anyways, let's start on that building. I think I'm going to need a bunch of glass and cyan terracotta, just like all of the other buildings. Before I start the build, I'm going to make a quick outline of where I want it to be, just so I can have a feel of how big it's actually going to be when it's done. Okay, I've laid out the foundation, and as you can see, this is quite a large one. It's probably going to be the third biggest after the pyramid and the dome. Also, it kind of overlaps with the sheep farm, but that's okay. I'll kind of like blend it together like I did with these two buildings over here. Alright, I tweaked the shape a little bit, and I added this top part just so you can see where the middle's going to be and where the top of the roof is going to be. Now all I have to do is to place in all of the glass that I have for the rest of the build. Okay, it's time for the big reveal, and here it is. It's pretty simple really, just a cyan terracotta structure with a bunch of glass around it, but I do really like the shape, and the main focus is supposed to be what's inside of it. The starter house that I built, I actually think it looks pretty nice. And yeah, I added this little path out front, and the wheat field is mostly grown, and it looks super nice. Also, I've got some llamas here because I had nowhere else to put them, and they kind of fit with the design of the house, I guess. If you count the tiny sheep farm down there, this glass dome was the fourth building that I've built this episode. And yeah, that's quite a lot of building, and over the course of the episode, I think I've learned a lot about how to build like super large structures very fast. For example, if you want to build really fast without like taking breaks, you've got to do all the resource collection at the start, even for a bunch of different builds. Like for all 4 of these builds, I'm pretty sure I only had to stop one time to collect some extra cyan terracotta. And then the rest I just did from my leftover storage, and that just let me really focus on what I was doing. So overall, this area does look really nice, but there's something about this huge blank area of grass that really bothers me. And instead of filling this in with some new big building that might get in the way, I have another idea for how to fix this. And yeah, this is going to mean I'm going to do some landscaping around here. But it's not going to be like normal landscaping with grass and trees and that sort of thing. I'll have to show you in creative so that you can understand it better. So just imagine this area in front of me is going to be my base. Now, here's what it's kind of going to look like after the transformation. There we go. Basically, I'm just going to replace all of the grass with blackstone, and that's going to give it like a really cool moon or extraterrestrial-like planet vibe. And I have to admit, I got this idea from Rendog, a YouTuber who he's making his base out of blackstone as well, and he just replaced all of the grass and terracotta in a mesa biome with blackstone to give like a Star Wars themed base. Now Rendog also used lava around his base area, and I thought that was kind of a cool idea, but I wouldn't want to do that because I have fire tick on in my world. Also, I would probably fall in it. So I've got this idea for like something that would look cool as a path, and it's not necessarily supposed to like represent lava, but it's like a hole down into the earth where you can see like the molten core of it or something. I don't know. These also emit light, so that's kind of nice, and where we don't have that, we can just use carpets and glowstone. And instead of having trees, I might just want to have weird mounds of rocks like this, because that looks kind of cool. Okay, I think I was getting ahead of myself a little bit because I should probably start building it here first before I can like detail it a lot. I've emptied out 6 shulker boxes here and I'm gonna fill it all up with blackstone, and honestly that may seem like a lot, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna run out of this. Welp, I've completely emptied out this farm and I've only got almost 2 shulker boxes. So I'll either have to do some AFKing here or spend some time underground in the nether, mining some blackstone. Well, these 2 will become 4 if I compact them down into slabs, which I'm going to use mostly, I think. And yeah, hopefully just this start will give you a good idea of how it's eventually going to look when I'm done with this place. So I've collected a bunch of slabs and stairs in my inventory, and now I think I should be ready. And I'm going to start right here by this entrance to my pyramid, and I guess I'm just going to build out from here and see how far I can get. And with that, another insanely large building project is done. And in this episode, I've spent so many hours just like building creatively around here. And yeah, I think the results of it are really good. I think that this Blackstone land transformation project is definitely one of my largest single building projects that I've done. And yeah, a close contender for that would also be my slime farm. I just kind of want to check my statistics for what I've placed the most of. Yeah, okay, it looks like we're still not there yet. Our number 1 is the stone, obviously, from building the castle at 16,000 placements, 10,000 dirt from just terraforming around the place, especially at the castle again, cyan terracotta from all of my builds, gravel, I'm not sure what this is from. Oh, it's from my slime farm again. Polished blackstone slab, also from my slime farm. And glass from last episode's project. The normal blackstone slab is all the way down here, probably like 20th place or something. But that's still pretty good, and we do have a long way to go with this land transformation, and I think I'm going to continue to place this blackstone as I go. And hopefully at some point it'll stretch all the way around the spawn area and it'll look super cool. Like even around this building. And with that, I think that's all I have time for today. And yeah, this was really fun just to do a lot of building for a change. And I'm super excited to continue working in this area. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.